where on earth did the story come from? How did it all begin?
I was really interested in kind of exploring a love story that dealt with lost love and kind of, what happens to our identity when our anchor is gone, So often we identify ourselves by the things that we have, including people. And so when those things are removed, who are we? So that was the core of it. And then it's set in a backdrop of the community that I grew up in Compton, California. And in Compton I see, just a lot of women struggling with loved ones who are incarcerated. So that became kind of a nuanced through line of the story. And
so it kind of started from a personal place for you?
It started a place of exploring this idea of lost love and setting it in an environment that was familiar to me. Yeah.
Okay. And David, what was it about the script that made you want to just be a part of it?
Well, as an actor, you're always, I think, anyway, gravitating towards the best material you can find. And this, for me, it was just, it sounds weird because she's sitting right next to me, but it literally was one of the best scripts I've read. I just felt that it, I just could identify with these characters, and I could identify with them in spite of the fact that they were people who are just not part of my world. But I felt for them. I wanted to know their story. I was confused by some of their choices. I understood some of their choices. And, that's the best stuff to play. It's the best stuff to watch, because that ultimately is what humanity is. And all of that was before I even really engaged with it as, the fact that these are specifically African American characters. And they are that, but they are just human beings modeling through the challenges of life. And that, like I say, ultimately is what I gravitate towards. So, it was kind of a no-brainer for me.
Okay. And there are so many different themes at play in this movie. I mean, there's love, there's betrayal, there's hope. What is it that the two of you want audience to kind of walk away from after watching a movie like this?
Well, in terms of what they walk away with, I think that in the film we see a different aspect of the black male with regards to jail, story. We see it from a different perspective, and I think it helps contextualize things a bit more. We could go into all sorts of statistics and realities about, the disproportionate amounts of black men in prisons in America. But what you never really talk about are those left behind, the wives, the girlfriends, the children. Very rarely are you looking at them as casualties as well. And I think that in this film you see that this woman is as much, in a sense, imprisoned as her husband, and that I think is something to walk away with, an undertold story.
Okay, and it's nice to see the other side of it. Then, and you're right,
yeah.
You don't get to see that very often. Ava, we have to say congratulations on your Sundance Award for this film. Not only did you win, not only did you win Best Director, but the first African American to win this honor. What was that like for you?
It was an incredible experience. Completely shocking. Had no expectations. Sometimes you go into an award show, I'm told, and you think, I might get this. I might have a chance. That night, I had no expectation, and so to hear my name was really a stunning experience, and it's been lovely. It's brought more attention to our film, which I kind of see as a small jewel, and we're just trying to kind of show it around, and we want to see our baby, and so that definitely, helps people to, help stir interest, and we're hoping that continues as we journey towards our theatrical release.
Congratulations, definitely deserved it. And David, you have a ton of new movies lined up, which we're very excited about. Jack Reacher, Lincoln. How do you find the time to do all of this?
That's a good question. I often ask the same, as does my wife. You know what? I just feel so privileged and so blessed. Ava and I have talked about this a lot, and I truly believe that in order to continue to move the conversation forward cinematically, you've got to try anyway to inhabit these as many different spaces as possible. I treasure as much the opportunity of doing, our film Middle of Nowhere, an independent film in the true sense, as getting to do these studio movies, because they offer different kinds of opportunities for an actor, but you really, a bit like theatre, you really learn about acting for the camera on a film like Middle of Nowhere, because it's so exposing. It's so the truth is, you just have to tell the truth, and that then lends itself to these other bigger movies where there's pyrotechnics and so many other things going on. And having had the Middle of Nowhere experience, for me, it enables me to just quiet everything down and try and get to that same space of truth in those films. So I guess my point is, I feel very privileged to be flitting between all of these kind of films, because I think ultimately they do make you a better actor, but you can't really do that unless you're having the opportunity. So I feel very blessed to have them.
That's great. I'm sure a lot of people want to know, what is it like working with Tom Cruise?
He's incredible, actually. I mean, I hope Ava would bear this out. I'm an actor who works very, very hard to try to do the best job I can, and I think a work ethic is what that's sort of rooted in. He is the only actor I've been around where I just go, okay, you win. You win. I mean, he's unbelievable. He's like a kid who just left drama school, and he's been doing it for 30 years. And his enthusiasm for filmmaking is just so inspiring for me as a guy who's sort of starting out. And, it's been a real indication to me of what it takes to operate at that level for that long. And I see it in Ava as well. I see that in the tenacity she has to not only be making these films, but to be running her own distribution company and, aspiring to do, films back to back, not wait for someone to offer her the opportunity. Tom is exactly the same way. I said to him, what is it? How have you done it for 30 years? He said, I don't wait for anyone. Every film I have done in the last 30 years, I've had a hand in developing. He said to me, don't wait for anyone to offer you an opportunity. Create it. And, that's the biggest movie star in the world. This is, in Middle of Nowhere with our film. It's the exact same ethos. And so that's very encouraging to me, to both be getting to work with people like Ava and Tom, to see that and to know that that's what it takes.
It's not every day you get advice from Tom Cruise, right?
No. See how he linked me and Tom Cruise? That's why I like him. I don't know how he did that. But you know what? I'm really glad that you asked about all of the work that he has coming up, because, really, when you think about not just a black actor, but an actor, period, that is working at the pace and at the level that he's working at, and making the choices between independent films and studio fare of weight and of worth. I mean, for films that we'll be looking at, 20 years from now as classics. I mean, he's got, last year it was The Help, Rise to the Planet of the Apes, and Red Tails. This year it's Jack Reacher, Lincoln with Spielberg. He's shooting The Butler with Lee Daniels, Oprah Winfrey, Forrest Whitaker, Jane Fonda, I heard, joined the cast the other day. He's about to shoot Nina Simone. He shot our film. I mean, the guy... Oh, Paperboy. I'm probably leaving out 9 films. But the guy's work ethic is amazing, and, I'm glad that you all are recognizing that.
It's an absolute pleasure to meet the two of you. Thank you so much for joining us today. And as a thank you, we have little goodie bags here for you.
Well, yay! This is the goodie bag? It's the best goodie bag at TIFF.
I know. Fabulous.
Thank you so much.
It's filled with some pretty cool stuff, so make sure you take a good look inside.
Oh, thank you. It's lovely. Thanks a lot. Thanks for having us.